Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon. TRE's Entrepreneur of the Week.
My Entrepreneur of the Week is Kim Antoniou. She's an award-winning founder and CEO of Auris Tech and Fonetti, a Read Aloud app and reading platform powered by multi-patented automatic speech recognition technology, or ASR, that listens as children read and gives reading a voice. In 2023, she founded the National Read Aloud Challenge, which offers free access to Fonetti every summer to combat reading regression, and has since supported over 25,000 children through more than 500,000 reading sessions. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Well, thank you for inviting me. That was quite a description there. Thank you.
Oh, pleasure. It all sounds amazing, but it's all true.
Oh, well, apparently so, yes. No, thank you. It's funny, you get to a certain age and it's what I live for. It's like I've had lots of business my whole life, always been in business. And, what we're doing now with children and literacy is what, it's obviously everything I've done up until now has kind of led to this. It's all about kind of, having that impact on kids. It's shocking, the state of literacy these days.
Yeah.
And it's been shocking for a long time, if I'm honest. And, any little bit that we can do to kind of encourage children to read more is so important.
Definitely.
And,
so how does all this technology work, and when and why did you start it?
Oh, well, so it works. So basically, we've built some patented voice technology with Edinburgh University. So basically, some automatic speech recognition that's been trained to listen to and work with reading, unlike the likes of Alexa and Siri that have been trained for conversational speech, what's called command and control. Ours has been specifically modelled for reading, and particularly reading aloud, and particularly children's voices. And so, it listens to kids as they read aloud. The way the child uses it is they basically go onto the platform, onto the Fonetti platform. They choose a book and they literally read out loud. And as they read out loud, the words go green when they get them right, and they go grey if they miss or skip. But in the background, all of the reading data is fed back to teachers and parents. So they both know their child's reading journey and where they are, but also where to support them, how to support them.
Oh,
and how
fantastic.
to praise them when they've improved.
Yeah, that's amazing how it's integrated with schools and things like that. So presumably you have to go to each school individually to have made that happen?
Oh, no, not you can't do that. In fact, funnily enough, that's why we started the challenge in the first place, because we originally built a platform and it was always going to be for the home market. It was always going to be for families, and just a sort of, a B2C app. And then in COVID, everything changed. We just literally finished building it and we went into COVID. But at that time, we just weren't, although it would have been really useful in COVID, we just, we just weren't known enough at that particular time. So we spent the time during COVID building a school platform, and then we came out of COVID and thought it was going to be really easy to get this into schools because we knew how valuable it was for teachers, and then realised that schools, you can't knock door to door on schools, you can't sell to schools. Schools have got to buy from you, and they'll only buy for you when they see there's evidence. And that's when we came up with the idea. One of my investors, a very clever gentleman who's sort of in his mid-30s on his third startup, made a fortune, basically, and he's built loads of business on repeatable sales processes, and basically said to me, Kim, he said, if I was you, he said, if you can afford to not chase the cash and chase the usage, do that, and it will actually give you the evidence, and then that would be the thing. So he came on board, started to help us a little bit. He was actually on his, as I say, third exit at that time, so he had a bit of time, and he said, I'll give you a day a week, he said, while I'm on garden leave. He said, but if I do that, he said, I've got to be invested. I want to be invested. So can I put some money in? And it was like, let me think, you're going to give me a day a week and you're going to invest. Yeah, what's not to love? Thank you, Jamie. And he did that. And then 2 months later, he said to me, oh, my God, I've never known an industry like it. I do not know how you're going to get to schools. And that's when he said, if you can chase usage rather than sales, then I think you'll have a much better outcome. And it coincided with me selling my other startup that I created at the same time as Auris, which was Cafoodle. We sold that to an American sort of PE-backed retail consortium and made a bit of money. And I thought, he's absolutely right. So I put a chunk of money into the business and created the National Read Aloud Challenge, where we basically give it for free every summer. It started off as our lead into schools. But, after the first year and we realised the impact and we realised what it could become, we realised that it was far greater than that. And so this is a standalone thing that, we're proud to say that we're going to do every single year. And it just grows every year. It grows and grows.
Amazing. So offering that for free each year, you're obviously not making money from that. So how are you making money from it?
Well, I did put quite a bit of money into the business to be able to do that at the time, but equally we do sell to schools now. So schools do buy from us now. So we do have a school platform, but we also work with publishers and other platforms to use our voice technology to voice enable. We're working on some big projects around that. We have to make. Listen, I realised, and I heard this from somebody from I think it was from Microsoft, it was one of the big organisations that said, you want to do good, you want to create some impact, but actually you've got to make money to be able to do that. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with saying, it's important to make money. At the same time, it's really important to do good and create impact.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to do both. There's obviously plenty of people out there that are chasing the money that aren't necessarily doing good, and people that are doing amazing things but aren't making any money. So to be doing both is the best of both worlds.
It's we're getting there. Let's just say we're getting there. You know what it's like, entrepreneur's life. It's it builds all the time, and we've had quite a lot of investment in the business as well, which has been absolutely brilliant. And I'm really lucky because I've got a board that are totally aligned with the charitable aspect of what we do throughout the summer, as well as obviously pushing for a commercial business.
Yeah. And with regards to investors, how does that happen? Have they come through people that you know, or are there places to actively go to find investors?
Oh, golly, it's been a long journey. I mean, over the two businesses that I've had, it's been, I think there are times when fundraising is really easy and sometimes when fundraising is really hard. I think that, it's been such a mixed bag. We've got, a mixture of sort of funds in the business that sort of see the benefit of the SEIS and the EIS when you get to that stage. But you've also got some phenomenal angel investors that have put money in purely because they see the impact and they see, they see the outcomes. And that's what drives a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. And when you first started, how did you go from having this idea to building the technology? I mean, a lot of people have good ideas, but have no idea where to go from there. How did you know what to do?
Oh, like most people didn't really. We were lucky. Some elements of luck, some elements of the fact that I'm not very good at people saying no to me. So we started the journey 10 years ago when we had this idea. I was talking to my co-inventor, a really great ad man called Bill Bungay, and we were having lunch one day and we said we thought that screen time and tablet time for kids was going to become a thing, and we gathered and guessed that kids would be playing games and watching videos. Well, we weren't far wrong, were we? And we said, wouldn't it be good to be able to build something that we dubbed edutainment? It was educational, but it would also have an element of entertainment. And then we said, wouldn't it be good if we could encourage kids to read more and in a gamified way? And so that's why it all sort of started. But we put a bit of money together, built a prototype. Wasn't particularly, it was a great idea, but the technology behind it just wasn't good enough. the accuracy was sort of in its 30 odd percent, which was obviously not viable. And then it's funny, I'm a great believer in the universe and a great believer in people are put in front of you when you need them to be. And we were introduced to the now Professor Peter Bell from the University of Edinburgh, who was Dr. Bell at the time, who got to hear about what we were trying to do. He's an expert, a world-renowned expert in speech and language. And basically, he said what we were doing was, because we'd basically taken some off-the-shelf voice technology and we plugged it into an app. He said the idea was unique and very, and it was not yet been done, but it should be done. And he saw that there was the potential to kind of work together to actually build it. And you know what academics are like. It's like there's got to be some kind of academic paper or research piece or something at the end of it. It's got to be something unique. And we were really lucky because he took us on board and we partnered with the University of Edinburgh. And we built the world's first voice technology that's been created specifically for reading. And I mean, 20 odd patents later, we've got this space, this kind of like technology stack that allows us to do what we're doing at scale, but very, from an operational point of view, from a server perspective, computationally efficient. So there are lots of these, different engines, not necessarily in the same type of engine as ours, but the technology is so expensive to run, and that means that things are not often scalable. Yeah. But we built it in a way that is really, really scalable, so we can listen at scale and we can do it cheaply. And I don't know how I am involved in creating this amazing patented technology. It just happened. It took a long time, though. It took a long time to do. It took a long time to protect. And it took a long time to get the training data.
So is this a form of AI?
Yeah, well, actually, it's machine learning, which is obviously the core of AI. But AI is a whole new ball game, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I struggle to understand how you could do this without, that AI is so much part of technology. You couldn't do this just with humans. It would be a lot more expensive and you wouldn't be able to do it all times during the day. So this is a great example of how technology like this can be so useful for us today.
For sure. And I think for us, it's funny because what AI tends to do, we're all kind of used to using our Claudes and our ChatGPTs and so on now. We use it, in our daily life all the time. But what it does is it's there to kind of refine and make things easier for you. So, everything you want it to do is like make it more efficient for me, give me more information, make it easier for me, save my workload. Now, ASR, voice technology for reading, works in a completely different way. We don't want any AI to come in and refine it. We want it to listen to exactly what it's heard and allow for accents and stutterances and pauses and, different children's different levels and type of reading. So we, the fact that we're using the core of, machine learning to actually build the technology or have you built the technology on, where we're using AI is in the assessment stuff. So, you can get so much information out now by putting layers of AI onto what we're doing that allows us to be, really get in the realms of personalised, intervention for readings, for schools, for families. So, it just opens up a whole different sort of plethora of great stuff that you can do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And you mentioned Cafoodle earlier, which I know you've now sold. Just tell us about that, because that sounds like a great idea as well.
Well, so my husband has got a really serious sesame allergy and he nearly died in a restaurant back in 2013. And I know we're on the radio and only you, Hannah, can see me smiling because he survived. But I always say he survived for me to tell the tale. And I built a business out of it. So I really understood what it's like for an allergy sufferer to walk into a restaurant and be the only person around the table that has to be really careful about what they eat and, be singled out. And then the law came into play in 2014 that says all food and drink businesses had got to show allergy information on demand. Obviously, it's here. It's commonplace now. When do you ever walk into a restaurant now and they serve and not say to you, have you got any allergies?
Yeah.
It's quite now. But at the time, it was a nightmare for the industry. So having had a background in software development and having I'm really good at finding a problem and finding a technical solution for it, although I'm not technical myself. And I knew it was going to be a massive problem for the industry, and teamed up with a friend of mine who happened to be a restaurant and pub manager, who said, look, it's going to hit the industry like a ton of bricks. Nobody knows how they're going to be able to deal with it. Let's build a platform. Having an understanding of the problem, as it were, we got together and we created this management system, sort of a menu management system that allows commercial kitchens to bring in all of their allergy information, all of their ingredients from the supply chain, with all of the allergy information already sort of embedded in that. So as they're building the menus, it automatically builds the allergy story around it. And then I brought in a co-founder, Taryn, who had a different dimension to it, because she was all about sort of personalised eating and nutrition and so on. So that brought a different layer to it. So she came in as a co-founder, and we took that idea and we made it into something quite special. We got to COVID. We'd raised a couple of £1 million to sort of build that technology. And we just finished a raise just before we went into COVID, which was it was all supposed to be for growth. But of course, luckily, we'd got sort of a reserve there. So through COVID, when the hospitality industry was just broken, we were allowed to, what it allowed us to do is to carry on building our platform and building all of this extra stuff. So when everyone came out of COVID, we were able to go bang, Zoom, and then we were made an offer by an American PE-backed retail consortium. And for me, I'd already left the business operationally anyway, because to run Auris. So it was a natural thing for both of us. Taryn stayed with the business, and I'm so proud of what we've done. It's still probably the most well-known and the best probably allergen and nutrition platform that there is now in the commercial kitchen industry, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, no, you should be. And it's nice that it's come from, obviously, what was a horrendous experience with your husband, and thank God he's okay. But the fact that it came from personal experience, it's lovely that it's got that connection.
It's so funny, actually, because when we made the sale, I mean, apart from that, it allowed me to put a chunk of money into Auris to be able to launch the Read Aloud challenge. I also bought myself a really nice car, and I called the car Sesame. And every time I go onto my app on my car and it's sort of Sesame, would you like Sesame to cool down? It's like, yes, please, go for it. So it's, and I think that's important as well as entrepreneurs. You need to treat yourself when you do something like this, because it's very easy to just go bang.
Yeah.
But no, so that was my treat, my Sesame.
Oh, good for you. I love that. Well, if people want more information about Fonetti and Auris Tech, where should they go?
Right. So Fonetti is FONETTI.com. There's lots of information on there. But at the moment, I'm all about how do you, anybody, well, it's actually a UK-based thing. And of course, I know that you're not in the UK, but in the UK, we've got the National Read Aloud Challenge, and that's free for anybody. Schools take part. They sign up. They get sort of like a personalised web page with customised assets. They share that with the parents. And the kids literally just read all summer. I mean, we went live this week. We went live on the 1st of July. We've already had 1,500 hours of reading on the platform. We have a wonderful celebration at the end of it. Our brand ambassador is Claire Balding.
Oh, amazing.
Which is beyond amazing. And one of our friends, Hannah, our chairman, is the wonderful Louise Hill.
Oh, fantastic.
So, goes back to our tuk-tuk days.
Yes, absolutely.
And driving all around India with Louise and I in what they called the saga tuk. That's another story for another day. But so Louise and I became really good friends. We were beforehand, but become much better friends as a result of our fundraising trek around India. And so now I'm really, so proud of the fact that she's actually our chair of the board.
Oh,
so
that's amazing.
Two crazy women of a certain age to really lobby for financial literacy and reading literacy.
Yeah, it's fantastic though, but it's so important, isn't it, through business, having success in business, getting the right people involved. And that's obviously been huge in your business career, finding the right people to do the right things. It's
all about finding that. The day I'm the smartest person in the business is the day I give up, I promise you. I've got some really amazing people around me.
Oh, that's great. So Fonetti.com is the place to go for people to find more information. And there'll be lots of people listening here who have got kids or grandkids in the UK. So for sure it can be relevant.
And also Fonetti's available in Europe as well. And it's absolutely brilliant for kind of just practicing reading. So it's available all over Europe and, well, most of the world, actually. So as a tool, it's so impactful. And, it's my baby. I could talk about it.
It's nice. You're passionate, and that's great. You need to be, don't you? That's fantastic. Well, Kim, Antoniou, thank you so much for joining us from Fonetti.com for more information. Thank you for being our Entrepreneur of the Week.
Thank you. What an honour.